Ventometer. Well, counting Mac and young Jimmy, we've had 2 of Big Jim's sons, so now we're going to call on a 3rd, Pat Nalls.
Jim was teaching me how to ski. A lot of tough acts to follow here. What I'd just like to say, you can't read anything. It is great to be here on such a great occasion, but I did want to say to all you, to ease you and assure you, that I won't begin this by telling my father's favorite joke. Would I? And by this time, I'm sure all of you have heard about the bowling ball incident. Yes, I did hit my father in the head with a bowling ball. And I couldn't understand at the time why he wasn't mad at me. Although I did remember he always used to say to us, "Don't get mad, get even." Anyway, a few weeks later, I was playing in my first basketball game, and a guy named Gene Kurtz cut my legs out from under me, and I came down on my ankle and blew out my ankle. And, you know, obviously it hurt a little bit, and at the time I wasn't really suspicious. But a little later I heard through the grapevine that JT had paid him to do that. And what was worse is that he gave him $100 as a bonus because I was in a cast. Don't get mad, get even. Thanks. Appreciate it. One thing my father always used to say, he always let us know where he stood on things. And I'll never forget when Michael and I think we were in 6th or 7th grade, and we were arguing with him about what we thought was fair around the house. And after we spoke our piece, and we really thought that he agreed with us. And he turns to us, you know, the way he did, you know, and it's kind of, excuse my French, a little shit-eating grin he gets. And he says, "Boys, we'll get along real well if you remember one thing. I'm always right, and you are always wrong." That has always tried to instill a good set of values in all of us. I hope he succeeded, but I don't know. However, by the time he got to the last child, he found out that the message wasn't getting across quite the way it should have. And one morning he came into the kitchen after we had been there, you know, talking around our table as we did very often, and he found a note that Rooster had written. And for all of you who don't know, Rooster is Joseph, the baby of the family. And it said, "Rooster's recipe for college. A 10-year loaf on JT's bread." Really did a number on it. It's a funny thing that he was always bitching at us, you know, about not taking care of the cars. And his standard line was, "If you just get the car tuned up and keep the oil changed, it'll run forever." Well, his 6-month-old truck just got a new engine because the old new engine blew up because it had no oil in it. Poor Mom was in the middle of a snowstorm because of Dad's blunder. The guy is a hell of a car salesman. But that's okay. That's okay, because he can afford it. He saves money other ways. This man will hire someone to collect newspapers, cans, and other paraphernalia that you can turn into Montgomery County for money. Not a bad idea. But being the shrewd businessman and operator that he is, he pays someone $10 to collect these items, of which he gets a whopping $3. Therefore, he obviously has, Mr. Hollister, help me out here, a $7 negative return on his investment. I don't know how we've made it, but that's it.
Well, Pat, what he does, he pays the $10 out of Lockwood Dental.
Don't tell Mr. Daniel that. My mom always used to tell us, you know, you boys, I've never really seen your father drunk. You know, and she has a very endearing way of making us believe her. But I have always wondered what in the world she was thinking. One night, I think it was about 6 years ago, and I know Mr. and Mrs. Razor here, and they may be able to verify it. But Dad took a flight down some of their stairs at their Christmas party. You know, most people at this point would be thoroughly embarrassed and do their best to get the hell out of it. But not our JT. He just rolled into the Rays' living room and passed out very promptly. I noticed in the crowd there's a few of his golfing buddies here tonight. So I thought I would take a couple minutes and talk about a few of his great rounds out at Columbia. I think I've exhausted that subject. You know, it is Dad's 60th birthday. I'm not going to say that JT is getting old. But 2 months ago, Michael and Tricia got married, and as is customary, the mother and father of the groom are walked down the center aisle, by me, of course. That day, like every day, Dad was feeling like a pretty proud and bulky man. And for all I know, he maybe have good reason to feel that way. But to walk down the center aisle of a church with his fly wide open is borderline senile. I'm sorry, the pump is hurting right now. Well, in all sincerity,
You know that guy you said about get even?
lastly, I would like to say, down in Gonzaga, Mrs. Luce said there was a man, Mr. Cozy, and if he said it to me and the rest of my brothers once, he said it 100 times, and I really agree with what he said. He says, Nallsy, if you were that much of your old man, you'd be great. I agree with him. Happy birthday.